All right, something a little bit different for me. The mailman dropped off a box, and this should be from Digby Lock and Tool Company. For people in Lock Pickers United, you'll know that Diggs runs the that Digby Lock and Tool, and he's known for selling his Diggs trays, which are really good pinning trays. They look like this. He's not paying me for any of this. I'm just going through what I got. So these are really nice pinning trays. You see them often in my videos. And he just started carrying multi-picks. So if you're looking for multi-picks in the United States and don't want to wait to get them from Germany, you can stop by like I did and buy some. So he didn't send me these. I bought them. And he put together a beginner set. So it's designed for single pin pickers. So a lot of times when you buy a lockpick set online, if you're new to lockpicking, a lot of them come with all kinds of things like rakes and different things, and you might be into raking. But if you're part of like Lock Pickers United, then your primary focus is going to be on single pin picking. And so he put together a intro set that is good for single pin pickers. And I haven't touched the rakes in my other lockpick sets, some of them ever, right? So this is kind of like a no nonsense, no money wasted kind of a deal. So we could ignore this one. This is well, it's in here. Let's open. So like I said, he carries he's starting to carry multi-pick sets. So if you wanted to, you can get one of these standard kits that you could get from Multipick directly. This is got way more picks than you'd ever need, and like I said, it's got a bunch of things I'll never touch. It's got all these rake profiles, right? Tons of them. Rakes here, rakes there, rakes here, and all I'm really interested in probably is this guy here, maybe this guy, maybe this guy. Maybe that's it, right? Maybe I'll look at a couple other ones. I'm really interested in these tensioners, all these tensioners, these tensioners. So all these tensioners are great. But as far as the rest of the picks, 90% of the picks are more or less useless. But I like to collect. So that's that. And so you take something like this and then you pare it down to kind of the bare essentials. If you're just getting started in picking, or you have never used a multi-pick pick like I haven't. I've only used their flag picks. I've never tried any of their standard picks out before. So this will be my first shot at trying these. I don't think they normally come with all these stickers and stuff. He threw these in for me. It's really nice. So that's the Lock Pickers United. Check them out on Reddit and Discord. And there's his sticker for Digby Lock and Tool. So this is kind of the basic set that's been he custom put together just for his website. And we're going to give some of these guys a try today. So you get 3 picks. So you get your short hook, kind of a medium hook, and a deep hook. Okay, so short hook, medium hook, deep hook. That should get you through 90-something% of your pin tumbler locks. Then you got the more important part, an assortment of tensioners. Okay. So you'll find yourself, like me, I use one pick 90% of the time, and then I switch to another one some of the time. So I'll use a short hook and then a deep hook. But tensioners, you want one that fits really well in your keyway. So we got, this is kind of cool. So this is kind of like a wiper insert for bottom of keyway, but you're used to seeing stuff like this. But it looks like Multipick went and made the other side thinner, which is great because if I take a lock, you might find that one side is too fat, right? And you might want something a little thinner that can fit underneath. So that's really cool. I didn't even expect it, but it was a good demonstration right there. See how that gives you a lot more room in your keyway there? Whereas if I put it in this way, it doesn't, it's eating up a lot of room in my keyway. Another thing is if you have that kind of file down, not so much from this side, but from this side maybe, you can use it as top of keyway. It doesn't take up that much space, like that. Now, usually what I'll be using is one of these top of keyway tensioners up top like that, right? So that's how I'd normally be picking. So let's just give this a try. I have two locks that I haven't picked. Either I haven't picked them ever, or I just haven't picked them on video. I don't know which. If I have picked them before, it was probably a year ago. And this one is a standard Schlage, I'm guessing like 5-pin. And this one is new, actually. I just bought. This is a S31 from Master Lock. It's a Lotto. It's basically, it's the same core as the Master Lock 410 Lotto, but it just has a thinner, taller shackle, I guess. So I haven't picked that on here. Let's start with the Schlage. So it's got the SC1 keyway, which I do not like. Let's see if I can get it to be like the focal element. And you know what? So it doesn't bounce around all the time. Let's go ahead and do that. All right, let's go ahead and try to pick this guy. So looking at these top of keyway tensioners, I got 4 of them here. And I think I'll go for the thickest one that fits. So here's the SP25. It's a 1.3 millimeter. I like that it says it right on there. And that fits in there nicely. And then we'll go ahead with a short hook. And here's the bitting. So you see, maybe it has something at the back that might need a taller hook, but generally, it depends where we're coming. Let's see, can we reach the top from the bottom of the keyway? Kind of. I don't know if that's going to work. I might have to come off the left side keyway, left side of the warding here, but let's give it a shot. I don't know if I'll get open or not. First time trying these picks, so I've never tried these picks before. First thing I'm going to do is I'm going to see what I feel in here, and see if I can actually feel the pins from the bottom of the keyway. Okay, and then I'm going to try from the left of the keyway, see if I can fit under them all. All right, okay, so maybe I'll use the left side of the keyway here. And work my way from the back to the front. I just like that. I feel like I can get on the pins easier. See if I can use bottom of keyway for some of these. I really don't like this keyway, the SC1 keyway, but it's pretty common. So you kind of have to learn how to deal with it. Okay, that drops some pins. Sounds like it drops some pins when I do that. Let's try something from the left here. First one feels a little binding. I got a little click out of it. It's springy there. It doesn't feel like jiggling. Actually, it just feels like it's springy. Second one, click. Third pin. Took a bit to get my sea legs on this warding, but it feels like I'm starting to get a handle on it now. I think this is the 4th pin here. Click from him. I don't know why the pins are hems. All right, is this the 5th pin here or the 6th? I didn't even count how many pins were in here when I start picking. I just go in, feel what the pin is telling me, pick it if it's binding, leave it alone if it's not. Back here, it's a little bit hard to tell if it's binding or not, or if it's jiggling. And they're all standard pins in here. So anybody that's been doing a lot of high security locks will probably tell you that all standard pins are their bane, because you kind of have to switch mentalities and kind of practice a little bit to get back in the swing of just picking standard pins. And I'm coming in completely cold, not to make excuses, but if people are like, what is going on? All right, so it feels like this back one here is the binder. I think I can sneak under the one in front of it. Yep, okay. So the back one was binding, and the short hook was plenty to lift it. So some people might be like, well, and this is not a super extreme version of the key, of bitting, but they might say, hey, that last one's really high. You're going to need your deepest hook so that you can get up and reach it. But I wasn't even going off the bottom of the keyway. I was going off the left wording, so I was more up here. And you can see I still have plenty of room. This thing has a nice thin shaft, so you don't bump the pins in front of it. That's pretty cool. It's got some laser etching on the handle too. I love that it tells me what it is down here. Some other pick makers, they'll etch like around here or somewhere on the shaft of the pick itself, introducing a weak point, and you see a lot of picks snap there. I haven't had an issue with that ever, but I'd say I'm more finesse than bully. So when I get into a lock that you have to bully, I have a really hard time with those. But this is the PN06, and it's in 0.6 millimeters. This is the PN31, and the deep hook is the PN05. And another cool thing is each of these has a serial number on it, and you can go. Multipick releases a list of serial numbers every month, and if your serial number matches, you win something, like a bunch of picks or something like that. And I know that PandaFrog has set up a portion of his website where you can enter all your serial numbers, and it will check the winning list each month and email you if you've won or not. So you don't even have to check the serial numbers every month. But anyway, there's that. I don't think I showed it in action. There we go. So that's the Schlage, and so it deals with the SC1 just fine with these picks. All right, got the Master Lock Lotto. Like I said, this has got the oh man, my band-aid got stuck in the device. Sliced myself on a can of tuna. So this lock has the same core as the 410. It's got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 pins, it looks like. And again, what we'll do is we'll start with the fattest one and see if this fits. Now you got a short end here and you got a long end here. For padlocks that have like a recessed plug, you might find that if you put the short end in, that the shaft bumps up against the housing of the lock, and then that's where you could switch to the longer end and avoid that issue. It looks like this might work. Like on American lock, this might not work, but this Lotto, it seems to work okay on the short end. So again, we'll go with the short hook here and take a look at this keyway. It doesn't look like I can get to anything from the bottom of the keyway. So I'm going to see from the right side of the keyway. Yeah, looks good. Okay, feels like I can feel all the pins. I'll start from the back again. That's springy. 5, 4, 3, 2. Feels like it might be binding. Click for, ooh, I heard that click. I'm sure you guys heard that click because you got the mic hooked up to the device right here, picking up the sounds. But I heard it even without headphones or anything, so that was loud. All right, pin 1. Felt like it's binding a little. Doesn't feel like it's binding now. I'll use my left thumb here to push up to feel for if a pin is springing. If it has minimal movement, I can generally detect it. I can detect whether or not it's got spring resistance with my thumb like that easier. I don't know if I'm on a pin back there or if that's just something at the back of the lock. All right, pin 1, 2, I think 3, 4. Okay, so it feels like 5 is probably binding here. I want to check to make sure that it's not set. Let's see if I can feel any springiness to it. I don't think I feel jiggle, so I'll go ahead and see if I can set it. A little bit tough with this wording. Okay. Still not sure if I feel springiness. A little tricky with the wording here. I'll check some other pins. 4 now, 3 now. 2 feels like it's binding again. Maybe I dropped it. Yeah, I got a click out of it, and it's giving me some jiggle now. Come up front to 1. A little hard to tell. Let's go back again, see if that number 5 guy is talking to me at all. Four, 3, Normally I might use like a hook one from Peterson, which would be flat on top. I find it a little easier to get on my pins. But this thing is relatively shallow. Works pretty nice. Actually, I think in something like this, I often use a really thin pick. This is a thicker, this is a, I mean, it's a nice thickness. I think this is 0.19, or I mean 0.019, so 19 thousandths of an inch, the 0.6 millimeters. You could look it up, I don't know exactly. So this is a pretty standard size for me. It's kind of my go-to size, I would say. But sometimes I'll go down to like a 15 thousandths of an inch pick if I'm having a hard time with warning and stuff, which might allow me to pick something like this from the bottom of the keyway and still get enough feedback. It feels like that pin 5 might be binding, but I have a hard time performing a jiggle test on it, on that pin 5, to see if it's binding or if it's set. It seems like I might have just lifted it a little just there. I don't even remember if this thing has serrations or spools or anything. It just went up a little bit more, and now I think it's better. So I don't remember if this thing has serrations or spools or anything like that. I'm just picking the pins as I feel them talk to me. 4, lift it up a little. Unfortunately, yeah, the pick is a little fat for this. It's muting my feedback a little, but it definitely is thin enough to pick this lock. It just might present a little extra challenge. And if you have access to a bunch of different picks, you can go ahead and switch. But obviously, if you're starting out, this is more than sufficient. It just might add a little extra challenge that you could reduce by having access to more tools, but that's just not necessary, right? Okay, start from the beginning. Pin 1 seems like we're jiggling. Pin 2 definitely jiggling. Pin 3 feels like not binding, like it's springy. Pin 4, sorry, I'm going to go back to 5, 4. 4 might be binding right here. I think this is 4, hopefully. Drop something. I have a feeling I'm picking the wording between the pins. So I've only been using this shallow hook so far. Let's try a different one. I don't think I need a different one, but here's a medium hook. Let's just see how it feels. Again, I might not get in this lock. I'm more looking at the picks, not the lock. Okay, 1 feels jiggling, 2 is jiggling, 3 is not binding, it's springy. 4 is jiggling. 5 seems to be binding. I might have dropped 5 while I was doing all that. This one seems to, this profile, this medium hook seems to be getting me on the pins a little bit better. But again, it's a little thick for the lock to talk to me well. 4. I have a feeling that's not 4, that it's the wording between the... Alright, I got click, big click out of 4, going back to 5 again. Four. 3's not binding. 2's jiggling. 1's jiggling. It's just 5 and 4 that I gotta play with. It's a little hard feeling what they're saying to me back there. 5. Like, am I on the pin or am I on the wording between? Alright, I lifted up number 4 a little bit more. Go back to 5 again. 5 seems to be jiggling. 3's still not binding. It's gotta be 4 I gotta still play with. I think that's 4. There we go. I got some plug rotation. So it's becoming a really long pick. Sorry about that, but I want to fully test out these tools on these 2 locks and see if I can use up my 30 minutes on the camera. All right, I got something binding here on, I think 3. I think 3 feels like we're binding now. All right, I got it felt like maybe like a serration or a bit of spool. I got a little counter rotation and then back into the false set, but it still feels like it's binding on 3. So I'll go ahead and I got plug counter rotation there. See if I can lift this anymore. Come on. All right, maybe I need a deeper hook than this. Pretty stuck getting that any higher. Okay, I got it up high enough, 3. So this is the medium hook, right? I could have maybe switched to the deep hook at that point. If 2 is jiggling, it's extremely small. Let's try pushing on 2 a little. Click out of that. Now jiggling. 1 doesn't seem to be jiggling. Let's push on 1. There we go. Woo! Sorry about that being a long pick like that, but we're open. That's the S51. And to put the shackle back in to lock it up. There we go. So in any case, again, if you want, these are now available in the US as a kind of a beginner kit. You get 4 top of keyway tensioners, 1 bottom of keyway, and 3 picks. Also, you can get like the really cool trays. Actually, I meant to, after I picked the Schlage, I was gonna take a look inside. I know it went off the camera, but it's not like a high sec lock and keep it in frame and all that stuff, whatever. I'm not getting a belt with it. I think it's a yellow belt lock. All right, let's see what's inside this guy. There's a follower. All right, so it's got 6 chambers, only 5 populated. So we did feel 5 while we were in there. 1, 2, 3, 5, 4. So those are just standard pins. Up top of this, let's see if I have any tweezers. If my fingers can get them out without getting stabbed by all the sharp tweezers. These are all going to be standard, I'm sure. 2, 3, 4, and oh, there's the spring for number 5 and 5. It has all 6 chambers up there as well, so you could pin it up with another chamber if you wanted. There's some more springs in here. There we go. So that's the Schlage mortise cylinder and the Master Lock S31 Lotto, picked with the Multipick. I don't know what he's calling it. I should have looked on the website before I came here. Like the starter set or whatever it is. It's been custom put together out of individual picks, so it's not, you can't buy it like that from Multipick without just buying them all a la carte. But he also sells these bigger picks sets as well, and sells nice pouches from a guy in Germany. If you wanted to buy a pouch to put your picks in. In any case, thank you. That was a bit longer, but hopefully it was educational. Thanks. Bye.